I'm good. I'm gonna just do this, by the way. We can't see it if you're just listening, but I'm just
Yeah.
switching my book across. Uh,
Yes.
my book just came out, so thank you for asking. It's been interesting. Like I was talking to somebody the other day. Obviously, publishing a book is a lot of work as actual work, but also whatever I'm doing or whatever I
Yeah.
was doing, especially in the past 3 weeks, if I was going to Costa, I don't know, getting a coffee or whatever, I would be like, oh yeah, you know what? I have a book out. Have you ever checked it? Oh, do you need to reclaim your time? It's literally been like that for the whole month and a half. So even before that, I had that in the purview. And then for the last 3 weeks, that's what I've been talking about. So even when you're not working, which is, I know, ironic for a book called Reclaim Your Time Off. That's the name of my book. So the irony is not lost on me. But you know what I mean? It's literally, it's not just the work, it's the mental load of being able to be on it and to know when to talk about it or when to mention it or when to look for an opportunity. It's something that maybe we don't think about when you think, oh yeah, I'm publishing a book or this person is publishing a book. It's not just the book itself, it's everything that goes around it.
Of course, because I was going to get into that first actually about your new book, Reclaim Your Time Off. I mean, how did it feel to actually just finally finish it and release it? Because it's your second book, right? How did it feel to finally finish it and then release it now, then promote it and so forth? I
If you want
thought
a
so.
sound, if you want a sound, that is the sound. It felt really good. It felt interesting because this book has been in the works for almost 3 years now, 2 years and a half. So
Wow.
you will look at this book and you'll be like, of course, it comes out now, reclaim your time off, post-pandemic, adapting to the new world. Yes, but I've been struggling with reclaiming my time, I guess, and managing my time for all of my life because we creative people like to do things, like to try things, right? So that's been always my curse, I guess, my blessing and my curse. Be like my little superhero power and my kryptonite at the same time,
Yeah.
lols. So you know, it has been really good, but also it's been feeling like it almost felt it was part of my day-to-day life. When I wasn't writing it, obviously then I got published it after I wrote the whole thing. We were reviewing it, we were revising it. I was doing the audiobook. When I wasn't doing the audiobook, I was doing interviews. So it's always felt like it was always there, my little baby attached to my little hip. And then now eventually feels like he's coming into the world and doing his own thing. And I'm really happy and proud, but I was like, whoa, oh, this feels lighter. What happened? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that's what happened.
And you said it took you 3 years to finally have it released. I mean, when you wrote the original version, how long did that take you originally to write the first sort of revision of it?
So the first draft itself,
Yeah.
so that's where my writing background comes in because I write still a lot for either our magazine one or for publications too, or in general for other kind of platforms. And I do even some kind of ghostwriting as well.
Yeah.
It's not, okay, this is almost like a humble brag alert, okay, but it doesn't take me long
Yeah.
at all. So in the grand scheme of things, I think, again, this is going by memory, probably about 6 months at the max. And
Okay.
because I always do a lot of research, so the research takes more than the writing. Writing for me is easy as long as I can block the time, which is something I talk about in the book as well. As long as I block the time for myself, which I haven't been able to do for quite a while now, which is kind of what's been also making me a bit itch to get back to it. It's not a problem. I can, in 4 to 5 months, I can jot down the whole book. The research probably like lengthen the whole experience in itself. So what I would say to people, if you have a book in you and you want to write it and you get a clear idea of what it's going to be about, and you just want to get the words down on paper, everybody will be different. I feel there's a lot of pressure I think with everything, whether you're podcasting, whether you're creating content, like how to do more stuff in less time. But some people don't work that way. So that was my easy part. And then the harder bit for me was the revision, the editing, even if when I was doing it with the publishers, the marketing, because I know how to market things. So I wasn't taking any chance with anything.
Yeah.
So for me, I knew what I was good at doing fast and what I needed to take more time on. And I don't want people to listen and think like, oh yeah, I need to write a book in 2 months because that's what Fab says. No. You will have the things that come natural to you and the things that instead will take more time for you. I call them the zone of genius in the book. And once you know that you can compensate in a way, And that's how I compensated. I knew I could write really fast and get everything down, and he allowed me to actually spend months and months and months and months pitching for a publisher, which is probably where about 8 to 9 months of my work went in
Wow.
as well.
Wow. Okay, I was going to ask actually what kind of extended the release date, because it took 3 years. And was it also the pandemic as well that kind of not delayed it, but dragged out just that little bit more for the release date as well?
Not really, because I got my deal as the big bulk of the pandemic hit, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe the only extension was that we had to work around some of the sections and kind of make them more like post-pandemic / pandemic friendly, like, you know, let's say the new normal of work, kind of, you know, introducing that conversation. But not really, because traditional publishing actually has about a 12 to 18 months leadway. It's just the way it is. I kind of self-published-ish my first book. So that is a much faster process. You know, Amazon allows you to do that. I talk about it in a couple of pieces that I wrote recently. It really does depend on what is your book, what is the goal of your book for yourself. Obviously, for the reader, it should be any takeaway that you think is the main takeaway, any way that you can change their lives. You know, making a positive impact is what I'm about. So obviously, that will be the goal for the reader. Improving something, changing something, adapting something, which is thankfully what I've seen already from the book response has been. But your own goal can be different. Maybe you want assertive expertise. Maybe you want to share your life story. Maybe you want to get people to know you as the founder of whichever. Think about the books from, you know, the founders of Airbnb or Nike or the likes, you know. It's not necessarily tell people a lot more than this is how we build this company, this is how I built who I am. Or maybe it is literally, nothing wrong with that, about, you know, selling a book as an ebook and making loads of money because you got loads of sales and really using it as an income generating experience. But it has to work for you. And that's also where we go back to, don't be like, oh, there's this shiny little object, that's what I can do with it. Think about really how can it enrich your reader's life, but also how can it align with your overall goals. Because in that case, you know, self-publishing might be the way, traditional publishing might be the way. It really does depend on that, and also how is it going to fit within everything else that you're doing, because it is a lot of work, regardless of whether you go traditional or not.